We're also divided. How did it get to be this way? Division. All right, lads and lasses, welcome along. Division, right? It's a big topic, right? And it's something that you're always going to need to do. No matter what we do with Power BI, with any of our data works, with D or anything like that, you're going to come in front of or come up to divisions. You know, I want a percentage, it's a division. I want a this, it's a division, okay? Division generally works, but as with any of these things, as you're getting to be really big with your data, you're going to come across divide by zero errors. So how do you avoid divide by zero errors? It's simple. Power BI has got you covered, right? In DAX, there is a function called divide, okay? You need to learn to use divide. The syntax for it is very simple, okay? It's not a complicated one to do, okay? I've got here, this is an example, there's another data set that we'll probably use a lot more in the next few weeks, right? This was library books in Newcastle Library. We've got here this great book, Mrs. Plug the Plumber. In Newcastle, in the library system in Newcastle, we know there's 75 copies of the book, right? And we know that there have been 132 loans in the period this was for. I think it's for 2017 or something like 2018, right? I forget off the top of my head. The important thing was I wanted to show you the function, okay? The loans per copy is just kind of, it's like the number of loans by the number of copies, okay? So you can see that we've got 1.76 for the Mrs. Plug the Plumber, but we can see some of these further down. I mean, Jeffrey Archer, this was a man. That's 11. It's been out 11.67 times, so nearly once a month, those books have been lent out. Yeah? 12 months in a year, so, you know, kind of be. So those are out a lot. So you can kind of start to really get a picture, and that being able to do those percentages makes a lot of difference. But you might have a case where you've got, for whatever reason, your number of copies is 0, or your loans is 0. So you can kind of get into issues with your division, depending on what you're dealing with it, right? So your number of copies, you could have said, well, we had 10 or 2, we've now lost them. So depending on when your number of copies is taken, it might not reflect the measure. Does that make sense? If we're, you know, especially for loans, right, loaning equipment, doing stuff like that, there are times when you're going to look back and it's not going to exist anymore. And that can cause problems, especially on if it happens at in the middle of a reporting period, and the end of the reporting period, it's not there. You need to have some way of flagging it other than error, okay? And loans does that for you, okay? So last week, we talked about basic aggregations, and we can see in here, we've got basic aggregations, okay? There's nothing in there, I think, I'd hope, that you're going to go, I don't understand that. So we've got a sum, which remember, basic aggregations, like add the column. Give me a sum of loans, champion. And I want a sum of the number of copies. Some libraries might have more than one copy of the book, and then multiple loans, whereas other libraries, we just have one copy, so it's a sum because it's books in a library. Different multiple libraries in Newcastle. Believe it or not, people up here can read. Right? So anyway, we've got... Hey, tell you what. Right, so we want to take a sum. So, you know, give us all the values for all these books, because it's like, you know, book 1 of Mrs. Plug the Plumber was loaned out, book 2, right? All these were loaned out. It might be that we've got 75 copies of Mrs. Plug the Plumber because we've lost 67 of them. That might be the case. You know, might get destroyed by kids all the time, right? Who knows? But the way this is structured, sum makes sense. So we want the total number of loans that have happened and the total number of copies that libraries have, because a library might have one or many copies, and a library might have one or many loans of our book. Okay? So we can do all that, and that works really well. And that'll then give us a nice divide. And that's great until we get to the problem where you know, all of a sudden, it's not straightforward as that, okay? And we need to be able to fix it. So you can see, we can actually, under divide, we can give it an alternate result. Yeah, so you can see divide, safe divide function with ability to handle divide by 0 case. So in this case, we could choose to say, I tell you what, let's just make it blank as an alternate result, okay? Just be blank. I could choose to say, well, if it's going to be an error, just put 0. And number 0, because it's going to be a number. Yeah, not character 0, right? But one number in there, makes sense, yeah? Okay, so dead simple. So there you go, right? Let's put the links to the download this data set. It's very good to learn how to use divide. And it's very important that you're comfortable with the idea of divide. So when you have to do a division, you got divide. And you don't start going, right, da-da-da, slash, da-da-da, right? Because that'll work up to a point, and then all of a sudden, it'll stop working. And then you'll be like, oh. Don't be that guy. Figure it out. Download the data, right? There's divide. I'll put the sample information on it. Put the stuff all down below, right? Don't forget, like and subscribe. You know, keep supporting our channel. We're now on Patreon as well. So if you're going up there, you can click on the Patreon link, start supporting us there. I'm debating giving some merch away. I don't know, maybe you just want some mugs, something like that. You know, I might put some stuff on there for our Patreon subscribers. You take care, and we'll catch us all next week. Have a great weekend. Ta-da.